So is everyone wondering who our precious Lily is? Miss Chatterbox Lily, always up to no good. So the story of Lily is quite a simple one, but we did have Lily when she came to us. She was only just 4 weeks old, and she sadly looked like a little bit of a gremlin. So we called her Lily Hobbit because she reminded us of a hobbit. So during that time, we wanted to know what was wrong with her. She was walking funny. She was falling over. We checked her ears. She had severe ear mites. Now that seemed to be the first issue. And then we found a large bump on the top of her head here, where there's a little bump. She don't like it being touched too much. But we had a CT scan done on it just to make sure that it wasn't anything serious. And we found out that it was like a hard cyst and nothing to worry about, although we have to keep an eye on it in case it grows and gets bigger. So I'm going to take you back now to when we first got Lily. You can see what she looked like from when she was a baby up until now. Lily, do you have anything to say? Lily? What's that, Lily? Lily? I know. Yes. Our most chattery cat that we have. Yes. Always talking. Always meowing. Eh? Lily.
Hello everybody and welcome to Lily's story. So Lily was brought to us when she was 2 months old. She was diagnosed with some neurological problems and she couldn't really balance on her back legs so well. So we decided to take her in and assess the situation and see what was going on. Now Lily had the biggest, cutest eyes and the biggest head but the smallest body. She was definitely something different to what we'd seen before in kittens. We knew that we had to watch her over time just to see if she had any other problems. Now, she was very small for her age. She grew very slowly and that worried us. We thought that she may have some type of dwarfism or some stunted growth. Also, her eyes would water very often, which made us think that she may have hydrocephalus. So we knew that we had to get her in for a scan to find out what the bump on the head was and why do her eyes look so big and why do they keep watering. She always had a very good appetite and she was always vocal. We loved that about Lily. We knew that everything was going right and she was touching all the milestones as she should be for a kitten her age. But we knew we had to get her in for a vet check just to make sure that the inside of her brain or her head was absolutely normal. And before adopting her out, we wanted to make sure that she was not going to have any problems in the future. So when Lily reached 4 months and she was at a good sized kilo, we knew then we could take her in for a scan just to see what was going on. Now we went for the CT scan, which would check her brain, and we checked all of her blood levels just to see how things were going. And when the results came back, we were pretty shocked to know that everything was absolutely normal. She did have a little bit more fluid than the usual cats, but the bump on her head that she still has to this day was not anything serious. It was just a hard fatty lump and it wasn't in the brain, it was on top of the head. But the vets did say to us that we should keep an eye on it because it could grow, and in time she may need it removed. Once we got all clear for Lily's health, we then knew that we could find her a home to finally settle in. But as time went on, I really did get attached to her. Her character, her personality, her size, her cuteness. She was just too adorable, and I just couldn't give her up. The day came when she was about to travel to a new home, and at the last minute I said no. But I'm glad I did, because a few months down the line, something terrible happened. She developed lockjaw, and it was terrible. We don't know why or what happened, but one day I went up to see her and she couldn't close her mouth. She couldn't eat or drink, and we was totally in shock. So we decided to call our vet, and he came back to our house that evening, and he helped us to get her jaw in the right position. We had to put her under anaesthetic because she was so wild at that time that she did not want us to try and help her. So we had to do this while she was asleep, and while she had the anaesthetic, it helped her to relax, which then put her jaw back into place. But sadly, it didn't last for long. A few days later, it happened again. So then we had to take her to an emergency professional clinic, where we had to then take her in for an x-ray to see what was going on. And it showed that her jaw was out of place, so it had dislocated, and we're not sure why, but they think that it was to do with the fluid in her head. And then they managed to put her under again and get her jaw back into place. But it was awful, because the next day it just happened again. So I decided no more anaesthetic, no more trying to sort out what was going on. We checked her blood levels, and we could see that her fluid was quite high, higher than normal. And we did actually see that the jaw wasn't completely dislocated like it was last time. And we knew this because she was actually eating and drinking. So the other option was then to put her into surgery to have her jaw fixed into place for a while, and then she would have to have some procedure where she would have a button on the roof of her mouth to keep her jaw in place. But you know what? I don't know what happened, but God was watching down on us, and it kind of just went back to normal on its own. For a few weeks, she had this kind of wonky jaw where she, looked a bit out of place, but she was eating, playing, grooming, drinking, and I just thought, right, okay, if she's going to have to live with a bit of a wonky jaw, that's fine. We'll just carry on. So here you can see in the video, her jaw was a little bit wonky, but she was still her chatty, playful, happy self. And then all of a sudden, a couple of weeks later, her jaw just went back into place. It's like it just popped back into place on its own. And I think it popped back into the right place this time without being manipulated by hand. It actually did it on its own to the correct position. So since then, thankfully, we haven't had any other issues with her jaw, and we haven't had any issues with her watery eyes or anything else. And to this day, she's a healthy, happy kitten. So as you can see, our beautiful Lily is with us, and she is now 2 years old. And that is Lily's story. This is how she came to us.